What if I told you you can make a classic crinkle cookie gluten-free? Well, you can, because I've got a mad genius ingredient swap. Gluten-free pretzels. Here I have 8 ounces of gluten-free pretzels, and I'm gonna add them to the bowl of a food processor. Get them all in there, all of them. And what we wanna do is pulverize this back into a powder. We're basically making a gluten-free pretzel flour out of our pretzels. We want it to be as fine as possible, as close to flour as you can get. That looks good. Now let me show you what they look like. You can see that it's so much finer than it was before. Almost looks like graham flour. I'm gonna crack 4 large eggs right into the bowl. I like to crack my eggs on a flat surface, not the edge of a bowl. Woo! If you have really fresh eggs, they pretty much explode when you crack them. To the 4 eggs, I'm going to add a 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. So here we got 1, and I got the 1/2 cup measure here. 1.5 cups. It sounds like a lot, but we are making a ton of cookies here. I have 3/4 cup of vegetable oil, and then I'm going to add a tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. And you don't want the imitation stuff here, you want the real stuff. You want real flavor. Okay, put it right in. All right, so I'm gonna use a hand mixer here. You can definitely do this by hand, it's just gonna take a lot longer. So start it on slow, and you're just gonna beat this till everything is well incorporated. And you don't need to beat it to the point where you're getting tons of air incorporated. You just wanna kind of get everything really well mixed. You put this off to the side, and I'm gonna finish off my dry ingredients because just like any cookie or cake or any pastry, it's very important to work with your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients separately. So to my pretzel powder, I'm gonna add 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. And you wanna use a really good cocoa powder, one that's nice and dark, because it's gonna give you a ton of really chocolatey flavor and a really beautiful color. So here's 1/4 cup. I'm gonna add another 1/4 cup here. All right, get that in there. And now I'm going to add a tablespoon of baking powder. Put it right in. Okay, close your food processor and then give your dry ingredients a whirl just to mix them up. Just a quick pulse. All right. Here comes the easy part. I'm just gonna stir this in right into our wet ingredients. Make sure you get it all. Tap it out if you have to. It starts out kind of loose, but then once those pretzels start kind of hydrating and absorbing some of the wet ingredients, you'll notice that the batter starts to get pretty thick. Kind of see it's already starting to hydrate, starting to absorb. Woo! Oh, here we go. Okay, maybe 2 more times. 1 and 2. All right, I think that looks good. We have our gluten-free crinkle cookie batter ready to go. But believe it or not only is it gluten-free, it's also dairy-free, and we didn't have any added salt because the pretzels are already salty enough. So I'm going to cover this with some plastic wrap. I'm gonna pop this into the refrigerator for about 2 hours. You want the batter to be nice and firm. All right, my batter is nice and chilled. The next step is we need to coat them in some confectioner sugar, AKA powdered sugar, depending on where you live. So I'm just going to put a whole bunch of powdered sugar right into a bowl. Mine has some little bumps in it, so I'm just gonna break them up a little bit with my whisk. So this is a 1-inch ice cream scoop, and I love this when I'm making cookies because it makes it really easy to shape them. So I'm just going to scoop my batter. So you wanna make sure that you're getting really even scoops like this so you ultimately end up with really even cookies. And what I like to do is do a few at a time. So I'm gonna do maybe 3 or 4, and I'm scooping them directly into the powdered sugar. And you wanna be generous here with the confectioner sugar because that is how you're gonna get those really pretty crinkles. And just plop them right onto your baking sheet that is lined with parchment paper. You can also use one of those handy dandy silicone mats if you have those. It looks like we are ending up with about 15 per baking sheet. I'm gonna pop these in a 350-degree oven for anywhere from 13 to 15 minutes. but you know they're done when the top is cracked. I took the cookies out of the oven, I let them sit for about 2 minutes just to kind of set up, and I am transferring them to a cooling rack. And I want these baking sheets to kind of have a chance to cool off completely before I start scooping and coating more cookies. Okay, I'm going in. Get a little cookie here. Mmm. That is super chocolatey. It's salty from the pretzels. But best of all, it's gluten-free and it's dairy-free. I have an idea. If you have a favorite cookie that you'd like to see become gluten-free, let us know. Just follow along, subscribe, or hit us up in the comments.